Okay, anybody expect to start recording? If you need it, I'm going to allow you to record your performance. Okay, you can set it later. Okay, to start with, I'm going to call Sophie Rizky Mahirawati with the title The Effect of Using Collaborative Strategic Reading on Students' Reading Comprehension. Okay, Sophie Rizky. Okay,
Okay, sir. Allow me to share my screen.
yes, thank you very much. Miss, you may start sharing and take the floor. Okay. Yes, you can see it clearly. Thank you. Okay, you can start
Okay.
now. Okay.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wallahi wa
So I
barakatuh.
will present about the result of my thesis. Okay. So I will present about the result of my thesis research entitled The Effect of Using Collaborative Strategic Reading Students on Students Reading Comprehension at students 10 at S1 Jiwa Hirawati from Universitas PGRI Madiun. I will start about my presentation. The first page is the background of the study. Okay, this study focuses on the importance of reading comprehension in English language teaching, or ELT, and the potential benefits of implementing collaborative strategic reading. The background in this research likely discuss the existing challenge in teaching reading comprehension, the rationale for choosing CSR as a method to address this challenge, and the significance of improving students' reading comprehension skills at SMA 1 Jiwan. And the problem statement in this research is, do the students who are treated collaborative strategic reading have a better reading skill than the students of 10th grade of SMA Negeri 1 Jiwan who are trained using conventional teaching? And the next is the literature review in this research. So the first is collaborative strategic reading. CSR is a set of reading strategies or instructional strategies aimed at teaching reading comprehension, vocabulary acquisition, identifying the main idea, and questioning techniques. CSR is about teaching students how to properly approach the reading process so that they can read and think critically. And for the reading comprehension is the ability of students to read, analyze, and understand the material. Reading comprehension is making sense of what the student and connecting the ideas in the text to what the students already know. And the theoretical from this research is come from Klingner and Font at 1996. They emphasize the cooperative learning, where the students work in small groups to develop and apply reading comprehension strategies before, during, and after reading. The research approach in this research is quantitative, and the research design is relied on a experimental design where the participant selection is non-randomized, and the data analysis is involved a quantitative to draw the conclusion about the acceptance or rejection of formulate hypothesis, and the researcher using statistical tests such as a Mann-Whitney U-test. Here is the result of the pretest. So in this research, it conduct with the pretest and also the post-test. So I will explain about the result on the pretest. The population in this sample is homogeneous, and the significant value in this homogeneity test is more than 0.05, which is 0.232. Therefore, the variances of the two groups of pretest data measured are homogeneous. And for the normality, this data is given the non-normal distribution. So, normality researcher analysis instead of the t-test analysis. And for the next is the result of the pretest using Mann-Whitney U-test. Okay, the table above show the mean rank of each group. In group 1, the mean rank is 30.29, which is higher than the mean rank of group 2. That is 20.31. And as for the table below, it shows the U value, which is 187.5. And for the W value or Wilcoxon value is 487.5. And if the value is converted to the Z value, the value is minus 2.431. And then the significance value is 0.015. So in this result, if the p-value is more than 0.05, then the alternative hypothesis is acceptance, which means the alternative hypothesis is implementing CSR has a significantly effect on students' reading comprehension at SMA 1G1. Okay, and then the next is the result of the post-test. The post-test data measured are not homogeneous. And for the mean rank on this homogeneity is 0.038, which means less than 0.05. And for the normality, it can be assumed to follow a normal distribution. So because the research data assumption test is not homogeneous, even though it is normally distributed, the researcher does not use the t-test, but the Mann-Whitney U-test analysis. And the result of the post-test using Mann-Whitney U-test. The table below show the mean rank of each group. And for the group 1, the mean rank is 29.63, which means higher than the group 2, that is 21.2. And as for the table below, it shows the U value is 204.5 and the Wilcoxon value is 504.5. So if the value is converted to the Z value, the value is minus 2.97. And the significance value is 0.36, which means if the p-value less than 0.05, it can assume that alternative hypothesis is acceptance. So the last is discussion. The researcher employed the Mann-Whitney U-test to analyze the result and assess the effectiveness of collaborative strategic reading between the experimental group or as a group 1 and the control group as the group 2. This non-parametric test revealed a statistically significant difference between the groups, with the significant value is 0.036. These findings suggest that the implementation of collaborative strategic reading significantly improved reading comprehension in the experimental group compared to the control group. Therefore, we can reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternative hypothesis, indicating that collaborative strategic reading has a significant effect on enhancing students' reading comprehension of 10th grade SMA 1G1. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for Sophie Rizky Mahirawati. Well, audiences, feel free to ask questions. You may unmute your microphone directly, or you may write on the chat box.
Sorry.
Okay. I think your presentation is very clear, Sophie Rizky Mahirawati. What a good job and bring further insight. So thank you. Now let's move on. Sekar Rifta Puspitasari. Okay, Mbak Sekar, would you mind try your microphone and try to share your screen? Okay. Um, okay, well, yeah, we are doing this. Thank you. Okay, Mbak Sekarista, if you think you're ready, you can start the floor. Let's have Sekarista Puspitasari with the title language style used in Dennis Marcos podcast. Okay, take the floor.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Sakaresta Puspitasari with name 2002109009. I will presenting my article entitled Language Style Used by Dennis Marcos podcast. And to begin my presentation, let's go to the first chapter. The background of study. There are four studies that are relevant to research. Of these four studies use the same theory and research methods. The researchers choose language style as a topic because language style is an important aspect in communicating how a person others work when connecting with different background of the illustrator. In this research, researcher chose Dennis Sumarko as the research objects because Dennis Sumarko, as the presenter, always has interesting background, character, and language style seems from and clear. Apart from that, Dennis Sumarko also has interesting theme or topic ideas by presenting sources who are viral, informative, educative, and inspiring so that the public interested. The difference between this research and previous research is that the four studies only explain the types of language style and the most dominant language style. Meanwhile, this research not only explain the type of language style, but also explain the social domain in choosing a language style and the meaning of someone in choosing language style. Apart from that, this research also use objects with different background from previous research. This can influence the result in this research, so that they are more style and different from previous research. In this research, researcher use language style by Dennis Marco in podcast as a topic. Researchers use Martin Jo's theory to analyze the type of language style used by Dennis Marco. The next researcher chose Janet Holmes' theory to analyze the social domain. And the third, this research used Searle theory to analyze the meaning in the language style used by Denis Sumargo. Research method. Research type, qualitative descriptive. Source of data, Denis Sumargo podcast with guest star on the YouTube channel Curhat Bang Deni. Time and place, starting from March to June. Videos taken from YouTube data. Data collecting technique, collecting, transcribing, classifying. Methodology, data analysis techniques, use Miles and Habermas flow model. The first is data reduction. The data reduction process for this research began watching video interview Denis Sumargo's podcast to understand the context more deeply. Data presentation. The researcher transcribes every sentence spoken by Denis Sumargo and gets that to analyze the type of language style. The last is drawing conclusion or certification. Researchers draw conclusion from the result of all the data collected. The next is result and discussion. The researchers identify the type of language style used by Denis Sumargo in his podcast with case study using Martin Jones theory. Researchers found 126 data from the 3 videos analyzed. Then there are 49 data that are categorized as consultative style. There are 51 data that are categorized as language style, casual style. There are 36 data that are categorized as intimate style. In the selected video, the researcher did not find data that categories for frozen style and formal style. The next is social domain of Denis Sumargo in using language style based on theory Janet Holmes. There are 4 social components: setting, participant, and topic and function. The example 1, sentence. Jadi permasalahannya paling besar yang kamu lihat akhirnya kalian enggak sepakat gitu akhirnya ada di mana. Setting on YouTube channel Denis Sumargo. Partisipan guest star Azira Aska. Topik classification of divorce problems Azira and Kurniamega. Function dig up information related to the problem asked by guest star. Researchers found the social domain of the used by Denis Sumargo in accord with Janet that is the living participant. According to Searle theory, illusory action can be grouped into 5 categories, namely expressive, directive, commissive, expressive, and declarative. And the example of assertive data, aku ini agak shock ya, maksudnya kamu datang ke sini terus kamu cerita ini semua ke saya. Begini loh, posisi saya itu adalah saya nggak mau menjatuhkan orang lain punya kekurangan ya dan kehidupan dia. Ya saya juga sangat bersimpati, makanya saya itu dari tadi muka saya itu maaf ya, bukan saya nggak percaya kamu. Ya saya yakin kamu punya kebenaran kebenaran kamu gitu. Meaning Denny Sumargo gave his response or opinion regarding to divorce issue between Kurnia Mega and Azira Azka. As the podcast host, Denny Sumargo did not want to bring anyone down. And example directive, data sample, ada lagi nggak yang ingin sampaikan ini? Denny Sumargo suggested whether Azira Azka has anything else to or not. The conclusion is that social domain setting topic about the meaning of the language used by Denny Sumargo in podcast, assertive, directive, commissive, expressive, and declarative. Implementation in communication or conversation will not involve background in many different aspects such as social, moral, economic, and cultural aspects. The researcher used the language style used by Denny Sumargo podcast as a public figure, actor, basketball player, and podcaster who often pairs to the screen or social media as a topic to study or find out what language someone with different background aspect uses. Language, language learning definitely involves the above aspect in order to create culturally aware English learning strategies. I think that's all for presentation for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sekara Staff Sari. What a nice idea talking about Market Podcast is very famous in an online, what's it like, online communication. And well, audiences, feel free to ask questions. You may unmute your microphone directly, since the topic is very interesting. Okay. Ini antara audiences tidak saling berencana untuk diam-diaman kan? Thank you very much. Okay. Okay. Sakaresta, among all of those findings, which one do you think the most influential one? The most influential language style should be used by other podcasters so that their podcast will be
The most dominant
interesting.
used by Denny Sumargo is consultative style, sir.
Could you give more? Could you please give further explanation? How could the style is the most popular?
Because because in the podcast, Denny Sumargo as a host want to dig up information. Dig up information is part meaning of consultative style.
Okay, thank you very much for the answer. Ini
Yes,
ilmu
sir. Thank
yang sangat
you.
bermanfaat untuk para calon-calon podcaster ya. Thank you very much. Thank you for the ideas and the finding of the research. Now let's move on. Let's move on the third presenter, Andina Yunianti, with the title The Use of Problem-Based Learning and Flashcard Media to Teach Writing for 7 graders. Okay, Andina, would you mind to unmute your microphone? Yes, okay, we already seen the projecting screen. Okay, take the floor, Andina.
Thank you, Chair. Let's start. I start presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I will presentation about my result for the thesis. The title is the use of problem-based learning and the flashcard media to teach writing for 7th grade student. Next slide is table of content. The number 1 is introduction. The number 2 is research method and result and analysis. The last is the conclusion. The next slide, the introduction. The number 1 is the writing. The writing is the skill of done ideas, feeling, and stroke to express structure ideas with appropriate language element. Number 2 is the in junior high school. Students often face difficulties while writing sentence into the paragraphs. And the next is the selection of problem-based learning method to increase writing difficulty in junior high school. The purpose of the study is to explain the use of problem-based learning and the flashcard to solve the problem and giving solution about the problem in junior high school. The student is difficulties for writing skill. The next is the research method. Researchers use a quantitative research design and the data collection technique use a triangulation, namely the result of observation, interviews, and documentation. The number 3 is the technique of analyzing data, use the data condensation, data display, and drawing conclusion. The next is a result and analysis. The number 1 is the result of observation. The section explains the result of the observation process. The researcher has made observation to obtain data related to the research. Number 2 is the data collection was carried out by observing, writing, and teaching and learning activities using the problem-based learning method and the flashcard media. Number 3 is the learning activities are divided into three activities, complex activities and the post-teaching activities. The next is a result of interview with a teacher. Students, we are able to develop and present real box result, and we are able to present the result of learning have been implemented. And number 2, the teacher showed that students did not understand vocabulary and grammar in writing stories in English. And then number 3 is the teacher asked students to collect 3 English words a week, and then the teacher repeat this word the following week. And the result of interview with the student is a show that they felt happy and excited about learning using flashcard media. The students were that they had difficulty with vocabulary, so that and the last students regarding the benefit, it was easier for understanding interesting material and the media. And number 3, the result of documentation is the content, the syllabus, lesson plan, photos, student attendance list, and student score. And number 2 is the result of documentation. So the photo showing the situation when the teacher provides solution in class and during interview with a teacher, with researchers. The last is the conclusion. From the research result using the problem-based learning method, and that students have difficulty constructing sentence in English due to a lack of vocabulary. So they have to translate first and then solution to overcome the problem faced by students. Thank you for my presentation and
Thank you very much, Andina Yunianti. What a nice presentation. We're talking about role-based learning instruction. Okay. Well, audiences, feel free to ask questions. You may unmute your microphone directly. Mbak Andina, okay. Related to the
Sir?
result of your conclusion, you mentioned that vocabulary become one of the challenges, one of the difficulties faced by students in writing, especially during the implementation of flashcard and problem-based learning. Would you please give a further explanation? How could this finding occur?
What's her? I don't hear your clear voice.
Okay. Your conclusion is, one of your conclusion is vocabulary. Okay, vocabulary challenges, vocabulary difficulties. Please give a further explanation. Why?
I resolved the vocabulary for the student because in interview and the observation in the classroom, the students and the student know about the lack of vocabulary for the English because the limitation of the in the interview with a student and the teacher explained the difficulties in English listen is the lack of vocabulary.
Okay, thank you very much, Mbak Andina. Success with your research.
Okay.
Okay, now, well, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the fourth presenter. Here we are going to have Bima Arlita Putra with the title, The Effect of Pomodoro Technique. Seems like interesting terms toward the speaking skills in introducing oneself for the 10th graders. Okay, Bima Arlita Putra, okay, take the floor.
Okay, thank you, Sean. Let me share my PPT. Is it clear enough?
Yes, very clear.
Okay.
You can start now.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sam. Let me introduce myself. I'm Bima Arlita Putra. Today, I'm going to talk about my research, the effect of Pomodoro technique toward the speaking skill in introducing oneself of the 10th grade students. Hello, this is my profile. The student of PGRI Madiun University, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, and Department of English Education Study Program. The first one, set of problem. Based on my experience in two vocational high school G1, I got the problem. My student got struggle when they introducing themselves. They just can only mention their name, They cannot mention such as like their hobby, such as like everything and so on. This is I'm so interested with this case, so I want to figure it out with my research. And in this research is using quantitative quasi-experimental with post-test only control design. The introduction. To learn the second language is not easy because in Indonesia, the first language is not English language, but in Indonesia, the first language is Bahasa or local language. So we need a learning strategy. How the strategy? Which one of strategy is using Pomodoro technique? In shortly, Pomodoro is time management by interval, 25 minutes to learn and 5 minutes for break, 25 minutes to learn and 5 minutes for break, and etc. And then the essential is to increase focus the users. The essential of this research question is there any effect of Pomodoro technique toward the speaking skill in introducing oneself of the 10th grade students? And the purpose of the study related with research question is to knowing the effect of Pomodoro technique toward the speaking skill in introducing oneself of the 10th grade students. The next is population and samples. In my research, the population is accounting class of the 10th grade student at to vocational high school, G1. And then the samples, there are 2 classes of accounting 3 and 4 of the 10th grade student at to vocational high school, G1. And the data collecting technique, how the researcher collected the data. First, the speaking test in the form of introducing oneself. The students performing the speaking skill in introducing oneself after given treatment Pomodoro technique. And then the instrument of the research adopted the social penetration theory by Altman and Tyler in 1973. The social penetration is penetrating from general information to deep personal information. And the data, this is the result. You can see at the table, the group statistic. There are 2 classes, experimental class and then the control class. The mean score of the experimental class is 79.67, while the mean score of the control class is 69. Okay, from this data, the researcher concludes there is a difference in the means between the 2 classes. And the next is test of normality. It can be concluded that what set of data is normally distributed since their significant value are greater than alpha equal 0.05 or 0.143 greater than 0.05. And the next, the result analyzed by SPSS. The assumed significant value for equal variances from the table is 0.000, which is less than 0.05. According to the criteria stated, if the significance value is less than 0.05, it suggests a significant difference in mean scores between the groups. And the result, from the explanation, based on the data on the field and the data analyzed, we can conclude there is effect of Pomodoro technique toward the speaking skill in introducing oneself of the 10th grade student. So there is a different score between experimental class and then the control class. So I think Enoch, thank you. Does anyone have any question?
What a good presentation, Mas Bima Putra. Okay, as what the presenter mentioned previously, anybody wants to ask questions? Mas Bima, you mentioned earlier that the result of analysis shows Pomodoro technique is effective
Yes.
to help students in speaking activities. And in your own opinion, how could this be? It might be several features is influential because of several reasons, etc. Okay, would you give the detail related to your opinion on how could this resulted a good uh, in enhancing student speaking skills?
So of the impact for the students. Okay. The impact is to increase the student, their focus of students, and then this is avoiding the bored situation class because the Pomodoro technique have a break interval 5 minutes to avoid the boring in the class. Is it clear
Okay.
enough, Mr.
Yes,
Sam?
very clear. Avoiding boredom as the classes run more effective. Thank you very much, Mas Bima Arlita Putra. Success for your
You're
future.
welcome.
Okay. And now we are moving to Bapak Luhung Badranudin. Good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning, sir. Sorry, don't call me Pak.
Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you. How should I call you?
Just call me my name.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mas Luhung Badranudin. Okay.
Yeah,
It says that you are still young enough.
yes, of course.
But I believe that you have a great passion on the teaching of English. And here, Luhung Badruddin are going to present an article entitled Promoting Snowball Throwing Techniques in Teaching Reading Comprehension. Okay, Mr. Luhung Badruddin is a lecturer at Universitas Nusantara PGRI Kediri. Okay, take the floor, sir. Okay.
All right, thank you very much for the time, and let me share my screen. Okay, now let me present my presentation today. It is about promoting snowball throwing technique in teaching reading comprehension. And also about my profile. So actually, I'm sorry, sir. I think that you got a wrong information. So I am a student of University of
Oh,
Nusantara
I
PGRI.
see.
I'm
Okay,
not a
sorry.
lecturer.
Okay, sorry for giving
Yeah,
a wrong info. That's why you asked me to call you Mas rather than Bapak.
yeah.
And
And actually,
we
I just confirmed to my this one, the head of English education. But how come Mr. Samsul called me Pa? And she's just laughing.
Okay,
But
I think
that's
it's
okay.
great to have you in this conference, in this seminar, since you are students and you have a great idea toward the teaching of reading. And we are welcoming you to give us a bright insight related to the teaching of reading, Mas Luhung Badranudin.
Okay, thank you
Very
very
nice
much.
to
So
know you. Okay.
yeah, so here is my presentation. It's about promoting snowball throwing technique in teaching reading comprehension. And here is the outline and the background. So, mastering reading skill is essential to develop students' comprehension that is in written will assist students to master the other skills. Through reading comprehension, students can understand and accurately read in written material. This includes knowledge of the intent, purpose, and content of the text, and the ability to recognize and grasp the key information. Despite this, there are several issues that raise concerns in this matter. The most basic problem is that the students academically have a relative lack of knowledge of the understanding, the purpose, and the main concepts of English text, and have minimal knowledge of vocabulary, antonyms, and synonyms of words in text. There are many ways to develop students' reading comprehension, and snowball throwing technique can be used to improve students' reading skill. Okay, so the problem for here is how second is how are students responses towards snowball throwing to develop students' reading comprehension skill. And the purpose of the research, okay, of course, to analyze the implementation of snowball throwing technique in teaching reading comprehension to develop students' reading comprehension skill. And the second is to analyze the students' responsive to implementing snowball throwing to develop students' reading comprehension skill. All right, so the literature view here, reading is a process of carry out and used by readers to get the message the author wants to convey through words or written materials and understand the meaning content of in the written material. It is stated by Haryanto 2022. In 2020, I mean, reading is a process that someone goes to obtain information conveyed by an author. It is stated by Ariati and Fauzia 2019. So reading comprehension is the ability to understand written text that we read. The words have context and the text have meaning. So in other words, that is the process of making meaning from the text. That is stated by Woolley 2011. And teaching reading comprehension is reading instruction to aim that in improving students' reading comprehension skill that they can process the English text quickly and effectively by Infantara 2020. Snowball throwing itself is a technique which focuses on involving students in working groups and gives chances to them to construct some questions based on the text or reading text given by the teacher by Gadi 2017. Aspect of reading. So there are 5 aspects of reading. The first is main ideas, specific information, reference, inference, and also vocabularies. It is stated by Nuttall, the theory of Nuttall 2001, and also the step of snowball throwing. Okay, divided groups deliver and extend material to readers, and the leaders of the group explain to the group. Each student writes a question and roll a paper into a ball, throwing the ball to others, and answering the questions, and the last is concluding and evaluating. This stated by Supriyono 2011. So the previous research here it is stated by Ginting 2001. So the result of the study is that teaching reading by using snowball throwing brings positive effect in improving students' reading comprehension and also makes students more interesting and fun to learn English. And then Muslita 2022, they found that snowball throwing technique can help students to improve their reading comprehension skills, especially on this descriptive text. And Padilla 2023, the result of this study shows that in the cycle 1, snowball throwing has succeeded in encouraging students to understand reading comprehend descriptive text. In cycle 2, students were confident in giving opinions and the atmosphere of the class became more relaxed to retell descriptive text in front of the class. So it helps students to understand the reading text. So here is the methodology. So this research using a qualitative approach, and the research design of this research is classroom action research. The research design here, we have 4 components in one cycle to conduct a classroom action research. That is planning, action, observation, and reflection. And also the research instrument use an observation checklist, field notes, and interviews. And the research was conducted at SMA and Dua Kediri. And the population is 341 students. With the participants in this research were students of 11 MIPA 6, consisting of 35 students in one class. and the collecting data is a random method. Okay, and also the result of this research. In the cycle one, after teaching and learning process, the writer found that the students could answer the questions quite well. Based on the result of the observation checklist and point notes, it was shown that there was an increase in students' enthusiasm for teaching and learning process. Using snowball throwing technique, the writer finds the effect in the learning process. The writer found that in cycle one, students could already do reading comprehension. Then the interview results showed positive feelings for students after implementing the snowball throwing technique for reading comprehension. And some students said that they could understand material about descriptive text and examples of descriptive text. Furthermore, they like learning to read using snowball throwing technique and also enjoy asking questions to other groups because this activity makes learning more fun and doesn't make learning boring. Okay, and also in the cycle two, based on the data obtained through observation and field notes, the writer found that students experience increasing reading ability. For the vocabulary problem found by the writer in cycle one, the teacher evaluates them by noting some vocabulary and their meanings. Then, at the end of the lesson, the teacher appoints students one by giving one English vocabulary and students mention the meaning. And also students who can say the meaning can leave the class. The writer found that almost all students could mention the meaning of the vocabulary mentioned. This shows that students' vocabulary knowledge has increased. And in the increase in the students, confidence can be seen when conducting discussions. Students are more courageous in expressing opinions, and students are seen being active in discussion activities in each group. The data collected shows that the students are more enthusiastic about learning. They are they are encouraged to participate in reading comprehension. In addition, learning through discussion could improve relationship with friends in class. Students like learning to read using snowball throwing, especially when students hold discussion with groups and when throwing questions to other groups, so that learning becomes fun and does not make students sleepy. After learning to read using snowball throwing, students can provide conclusion on the material that has been studied. Okay, so the discussion here, the writer found that by learning using snowball throwing, students can understand the material the teacher has explained. Students also experience increased reading comprehension. Snowball throwing strategy allows students to have more active discussion where students can argue, provide suggestions, gather information, and share assignments to achieve reading comprehension. These findings are in line with research conducted by Meila Mufida 2001. The snowball throwing method consists of construct division theory and cooperative learning models that train students to find much information from their ideas and solve problems by sharing and discussing them with their classmates. Based on the result of the interview, students enjoy having discussion and they make discussion a valuable opportunity where students can contribute to each other's understanding of the text. Each team member is not only responsible for understanding the fixed material, but they also assist their teammates in carrying out reading comprehension. It is in line with Ginting 2001, compared to conventional learning, which is monotonous, where learning focuses on the teacher. The snowball throwing method is more effectively used to improve students' reading comprehension. He also compared snowball throwing technique with SQ4R method to teach reading comprehension. The result of this study showed that snowball throwing significantly affected students' reading comprehension more than SQ4R method. And the last is the conclusion. So this study consisted of 2 cycles. Based on the conclusion drawn from the findings in cycle 1, the snowball throwing technique effectively improved reading skill. in class 11 MIPA 6 SMA and to Kediri, improvement in reading comprehension have been seen where students can ask and answer questions correctly. They can do better reading skills after doing reading lessons using snowball drawing. In the second cycle, in a group discussion, students experience an increase where students began to enjoy discussion activities from beginning to the end of learning. Students seem more active in giving opinions and already understand their respective assignments. Student enthusiasm for learning is visible in their discussion activities. They are actively involved in reading comprehension. So by looking at the overall findings, the snowball throwing technique has a positive and useful impact on English reading comprehension. In addition, the snowball throwing technique can create a fun learning atmosphere that can show student activity. In line with the opinion of May Linda, 2018, said that snowball throwing is a technique that requires students to be active in teaching and learning activities. And that's all my presentation. Is there any question?
Okay, well, audiences, do you have any questions? Matul Badruddin, success for your research. You found that the technique is interested, make the student interested in discussion and also as well as enthusiasm. So I think it's good technique in reading. Well, guys,
Yeah, that's very good. Any other question?
okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mas Ilham Badruddin. I'm very happy to find you in these breakout rooms and success for your future career. Okay,
Thank you very much, Mr. Samsul.
okay. Pak Aris Wulandara seems there. Oh no. Thank you. I want to address the audiences now. He said no. Okay, now let's move on to the last presenter, Aulia Ikhtiar Tamami. Aulia, are you ready? Okay. Okay, take the floor. Yep. Okay. If you think that you are ready, you can start in speak. Mbak Aulia Ikhtiar Tamami.
Yes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I will present my research with the title The Effect of Pair Work to Students' Ability in Writing the Context for 8th grade students of MTSN Kota Madiun, academic year 2023-2024. The background of the study. This study aims to explore the impact of pair work on the writing skill of 8th grade students. Despite the increasing relevance of collaborative learning in education, there is a lack of information about its effectiveness in improving writing skill. The researcher drew inspiration from previous research on English writing by study 2021 and aimed to investigate the effect of pair work on students' writing skill in junior high school. However, the result may not be perfect due to the crowded classroom condition. This study aims to investigate the effectiveness of pair work in improving students' writing skill in both process and outcome. The research question is, do students who are treated by using pair work have better writing the context than the students who are treated by using conventional teaching? The purpose of this research is, based on the research question, the study aims to answer the following problem. The researcher wants to know the the effectiveness of using pair work in teaching writing recontext for 8th grade students at MTSN Kota Madiun. The review of literature. According to Mukamilah 2070, pair work is a very useful and efficient way of working in language teaching. That means pair work is kind of activity have been done by the teacher in teaching learning process. It can make students easier of writing paragraph composition. Siati and Latif 2018 recommend to investigate on pair work by classifying the pair based on proficiency to have better writing. The research hypothesis. The null hypothesis means that there is no significant difference in the writing skill of students who are taught using pair work and conventional teaching. The alternative hypothesis states pair work method significantly affects students' writing skill. Time and place were taken MTSN Madiun. The research design is quantitative research with quasi-experimental research. The sample is 2 classes, AIC and AICF. The data collecting technique is pre-test and post-test. The data analysis are analyzed by using SPSS 29 and utilized with the t-test. Test of normality, if the p-value greater than 0.05, the data was distributed normally. Otherwise, if the p-value less than 0.05, the data is not distributed normally. Test of homogeneity. Homogeneity testing was then used to assess equality of variance across experimental and control group. This test can be started if the data is normal. The t-test is hypothesis testing was conducted to determine whether the use of pair work has measurable effect on the writing ability of 8th grade students. The result analysis in the post-test data using an independent sample t-test delivered that the post-test data are from the class taught using conventional methods and the class taught using pair work. According to the result, the significance value of equivariance assumed is 0.001. The assumed significance value of equivariance is less than 0.05. The conclusion is from the result of the study, there is a significant effect between students taught with pair work method and students taught with conventional method. This means that students taught with pair work method are more often involved in discussion and collaboration, which help them improve and enrich their writing. They are more motivated because they can support each other and get inspiration from each other. Thank you. Any question?
Okay. If you have any question, you may unmute your microphone. Okay. Okay, it seems like the presentation is very clear by all the IPR. Thanks for joining. And before we end the parallel session, I'd like to welcome Bapak Dr. Aris Suryantoro. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Okay, we are very happy to have you here.
Okay.
Would you mind addressing the audiences?
Of course. It's amazing for me. Congratulations for participation for the speakers, especially for students for the University of PGRI Nusantara Kediri. Okay. Okay, it's very interesting for us, for me, to improve our knowledge in education, especially in English departments. Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aris. He mentioned that Dr. Aris has many friends from UNP Kediri, Mas Luhung. Okay. Okay. Well,
Okay, thank you very much.
well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining the agenda today. I'm very happy to have you all in this breakout room too. Before we end the start our session, would you mind turn on your camera? Some of you who have been turned off, would you mind turning on for a while? We are going to take a picture. Okay. I'm going to screen share the screen. Okay. Aulia Iktiar, Sekar, and Andinta, would you mind? Okay, turn on your camera. Okay. Okay. Yep. Ready? Show me the best style of you on the screen. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Action. Okay. Once more. Another style of Aris. Okay. Other, yes, good. Good. Sophie, Rizky, and other. Thank you, Bima. 1, 2, 3. Action. Okay. Thank you, Luhung. Thank you very much. Okay. We are very happy to have you all in this LAP 20 and 24. See you this new agenda in the same agenda next year. Wish that you keep in touch with us and join LAP 20 and 25. Happy seminar. See you next time. And okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. I'm going to announce the best speaker for today's for our session on breakout room, and congratulations for Bima Arlita Putra. Okay, you did your presentation very well, and you also answered the questions in brief, and all the details were great. Okay, want to say something, Bima Putra?
Okay. Terima kasih banyak. Thank you so much, sir. I don't expect that I'm the best speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and see you, everybody. You may leave the breakout room and return to main room, or you may leave the seminar session. Thank you. Have a nice day. See you next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr.